Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Alexio Picco and I'm the Managing Director of the Circle Group. Welcome to the Connecting EU Insights 2021 Spring Edition. We are at the second day of the series. Yesterday we had some very interesting topic to treat that was more on the environmental protection, meaning zero emission in shipping and ports and hydrogen. Today we move a little bit more on the technological side, that is the application of 5G in ports. And this afternoon, don't forget that at 2 o'clock we have a very interesting interview, the Baltic Sea against the Mediterranean Sea, the interview with the double interview with the two Secretary General of the two association, Med Ports and Baltic Ports. So I leave the floor immediately to the Master of Ceremony today, that is my good colleague and friend, Eusebio Catana. And please, Eusebio, the floor is yours to master this very interesting event on 5G. Thanks a lot for joining and enjoy the webinar.
Thank you very much, Alessio. So, distinguished guests, distinguished speakers, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eusebio Catana. I'm Senior Manager in Innovation and Deployment at Eltico, responsible for the digital fight and 5G.
We see the presentation, Mr. Catana. It's perfect if you just can go to full screen. Very good. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Just a moment. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Connectivity and Beyond, How 5G Ecosystem Empowers the Port and Logistic Industry session. I'm delighted that today's event will bring together international experts with different backgrounds across Europe. I'm confident that you'll benefit greatly from today's sharing by our distinguished speakers. I hope that you will be inspired by their experience, gain insight on transforming your business to a successful growth enterprise, and be the agent of change for your business. I would like to express my thanks to all speakers, guests, and the project officer to be here with us. Please let me introduce the speakers. Mr. Michel Montarello Navarro is a policy officer working at the Future Connectivity System for the DG Connect. So he is joining us on behalf of the European Commission. Then I will follow to introduce the 5G Login project. And then one by one, the pilot site leader will present the 5G Login of Living Labs. We'll start with the Port of Koper. Mr. Janez Sterle from the Internet Institute, together with Mr. Dejan Soster from the Telecom Slovenia. Then we'll follow the Piraeus Athens Living Lab. So Dr. Pavlov Basaras will follow. And last but not least, the Hamburg pilot site will be presented by Mr. Ralph Willenbroek from T-System. We like also to highlight at the end a very important topic regarding emerging 5G business opportunities and models. So how 5G technology can enable new market players in the logistic domain. So Dr. Maria Angela Rossano from ICOR will give this presentation. All session will follow by question and answer. And then at the end, I will close with a final remark. Now I can invite Mr. Miguel Montarello to present the welcome address. So he is part of the European Commission team involved on the 5G communication system and related research and innovation programs. In the Commission, he has held several positions as team leader on media convergence and social media, or project officer in future networks. Before joining the European Commission in 2013, he was head of the ICT and statistic unit in European schools and previously head of telecommunication unit in the Spain Road Transport Directorate. He holds a telecom engineering degrees from the Polytechnic University of Madrid, Spain, and a Master of Science in Management from Free University of Brussels, Belgium. Michael, the floor is yours.
And thank you very much, Eusebio. Thank you very much for inviting me to the opening of this webinar. I will be very brief. I will just want to put a bit the scene from the policy European side. So recently, last month, the European Commission launched this vision for the digital transformation in Europe. the Europe's digital decade, defining the digital targets for 2030 based on 4 pillars: skills, focusing on ICT specialists, sustainable digital infrastructures, 5G, IoT, data age and cloud. Relevant for this session is the funding line on 5G corridors under the Connecting Europe Facility Program. The third pillar on digital transformation of SMEs and businesses with key technologies as cloud, artificial intelligence, big data. And the fourth pillar of this digital decade vision is the government and the digitalization of public services, e-health, digital identity, etc., etc. On the other side, we have the Recovery and Resilience Facility, where, as you know, 20% of the budget has to go to green and digital. And overall is the target of reducing the technological dependence of Europe in areas, for example, as connectivity, microprocessing, data, cybersecurity, etc. So in this policy scenario, we find different keywords as digital and environmental impact, as a use of data for industry and business transformation, Internet of Things and vertical sectors, connectivity and automated mobility, etc., etc. And this session, organized by 5G Loginov, sits in the crossroad of quite a lot of these crucial issues. So we are willing to hear some of your proposals and ideas to advance on this digital transformation, in particular in the important areas of logistics and port sectors. So willing to listen to the different speakers and the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Now I would like to introduce the 5G Loginov project to you. So first of all, I will start with the project fact sheet. So it's very important to highlight that 5G Loginov project, it's an European project. It's an innovation action project, has a duration of 36 months and started last year on the 1st of September. There are involved 15 beneficiaries from 8 different countries, covering different domains from logistics, automotive, telecom industry, working closely with infrastructure operators and research institutes, small medium enterprises, and startup will be also integrated in the future 5G market uptake across Europe. So the total budget, it's almost 8 million euro, and the European contribution, it's almost 6 million euro. Just only to have an overview, so of our project partners. So there are involved telecom operators, research organization, first tires, automotive partners, universities, and small medium enterprises. So our main focus is logistic industry. So it's a very important vertical. And always when we are talking about logistic industry, we have an open problem. So why? Because supply chain efficiency largely depends upon data and information. If you move on the operation level, different stakeholders need real-time information to be able to make effective decision. One step further, so at the tactical and strategic level, transportation systems, transport and logistic operators need increased connectivity. So at the moment, the existing systems are not linked to each other. So that is missing the opportunity to optimize the performance of their cooperation. In the same time, we have seen from the market, it's a huge demand for new solutions for connected logistics information systems with different characteristics, intra and cross company, for immediate and real-time exchange information. So, of course, there were developed in the last years many different services related to data exchange, visibility services, data collections, estimated time of arrival services, CO2 monitoring, and so on, risk prediction, services related to customs, data management, the control tower, data sharing, and so on, And then the next question from the business perspective, what else? So if you just take a look at the last study, done by McKinsey, we have seen that for transport and logistic industry at the moment, let's say the only technologies that will bring added value are the newest technologies, 5G included. So Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and 5G included. So they will bring extra added value and then will support the logistic industry to grow. Why 5G Loginov? So ports are essential for the European economy and for the economic growth of the European Union. So 74% of goods exported or imported to the EU are transported via its seaport. Cargo volume are increasingly higher, so we expect that will be 57% rise by 2030. And in the same time, we have seen that there are more and more, let's say, constraints regarding the number of vessels. So 5G will also support this type of activities, also represent the convergence technology for the new generation of mobile networks. In the same time, 5G promises also to address the diverse and rather demanding performance requirements of a wide range of use cases. Our approach in 5G Loginov, of course, will be based on different 5G technological blocks, new generation 5G terminals for future connected and automating mobility. New solutions based on the Internet of Things, 5G devices, next generation traffic management, and emerging subset of 5G network will also support 5G Loginov. So next question, how these are deployed. So 5G Loginov aims to support, first of all, the new generation of 5G connected and automated driving terminals. So new type of Internet of Things devices, connected devices, through different technical solutions. In the same time, from the market perspective, we should also develop new business models and different priority scenarios in order to be able to deploy this new type of technologies focused on real life post-cities areas. So our colleagues will present the Hamburg Living Labs, Athens Living Lab, and Hamburg and Koper Living Labs. And you will understand how, for instance, we developed the intelligent hubs approach. We implemented that it's implemented in 5G Loginov, network optimization, how, for instance, will be implemented multi and synchromodal transport, and how at the end of the day will be optimized the logistic networks. So 5G Loginov, of course, will contribute to the emergence of global standards and globally harmonized frequency bands for 5G in the context of related development at the level of global bodies like 3G, PPP, ITU, and 5G standard. The project will have a strong impact in the logistic industry and the Industry 4.0 as the innovative use cases deployed in those three living labs will test and evaluate 5G-enabled services during the project. So here you are, the main objective of 5G Loginov. So we start to develop and deploy new generation port and logistic hub operation system architecture. We'll continue to see how this can be optimized. And from the hub operation and maintenance point of view, one very important objective is to see how can be affected and improved the hub operation emissions, so related to CO2 and NOx, and regulate the resulting freight traffic on the future 5G logistic corridors across of the TEN-T network. How the traffic is regulated, how the connected and automated track platoons, 5G Loginov green track platoon initiatives will be deployed and tested in Hamburg. Last but not least, it's very important to tackle and in order to support the standardization of 5G enabled next generation and also to support adoption and take up a 5G enabled next generation port logistic hub operation system in Europe and beyond. Our approach, the project concept, first of all, as I already highlighted, will deploy, evaluate, and showcase the added value of 5G technology for logistics and port operation in three important living labs. There are involved the major telecom industry stakeholders from these countries. And it's extremely important to understand that 5G Loginov will follow a stakeholder-driven approach considering the ports and port cities mass challenges in view of the major changes brought by ocean carriers and the shift to Industry 4.0 logistic new era based on extended 5G features. So 5G Loginov, it's an extremely ambitious project, and you'll see when will be presented all use cases. So here you are, 5G Loginov at glance. So all 3 living labs, Piraeus, Athens, Hamburg, and Luka Koper from Slovenia. An overview of the use cases. So started from the optimal selection of yard truck, continue to optimal surveillance camera and predictive maintenance until port control, logistics, remote automation, management and network orchestration platform, and until the business critical and mission critical communications. So regarding the positioning of the project related to the TRL level, so as I already mentioned, we are 5G Loginov, it's a very ambitious project, and we like to extend the 5G features. So for all use cases that will be deployed and tested in 5G Loginov, so the starting point is level TRL 5, 6, and our ambition is to deploy it at TRL 8, even 9, if possible. Regarding the impact, 5G Loginov will have a high impact on network and telecom operators, business logistic hub management, small medium enterprises and startups, will contribute also to 5G PPP, and last but not least to EU policy, so mostly related to the cross-sectoral nature of 5G core technology, 5G corridor logistic services, and other innovative logistic services. Our ambition, of course, is to contribute to the future of logistics and Industry 4.0. First of all, trust. By implementing trust, trust is the basis of 5G Loginov. So to use of data, the data consumer must accept the data owner's usage policy. New business ecosystem. So our ambition is to contribute and to develop a new business ecosystem. New innovative by bringing startups, small medium enterprises with new innovative solutions for port operation and logistics, identify real market opportunities, especially in target niches for small medium enterprises. Interoperability, value-adding applications are very, very important because 5G Loginov, the ambition is to create a data market, enable the creation of novel data-driven services that make use of data applications, cross-sectorial nature of the 5G core technology, and innovative services. Last but not least, so in order to fulfill all requirements related to the CO2 and the European policy, our ambition is to see how we can contribute on the physical internet. So 5G Loginov, by creating digital hubs, at least in these 3 areas and 3 ports areas, will enable the creation of the new ICT infrastructure in order to support operations in future physical internet logistic networks. So all this you'll see in the next presentations. So now we'll follow the presentation for 5G ecosystem, enable innovation for future European ports and hub logistics. So Mr. Janez Sterle, on behalf of Internet Institute, together with Mr. Dejan Soster, on behalf of Telekom Slovenia, will present the Luka Koper Living Lab. So Mr. Janez Sterle, it's a founder and CEO of the Internet Institute. He received his Master of Science and PhD degree in telecommunication from the University of Ljubljana, Slovenia. His main area of work concern network design, planning, services, management, testing, and implementation in production network for fixed wireless and mobile 4G and 5G communication, NATO-enabled technical telecommunication system for armed forces, and test, measured, and verification of state-of-the-art protocol and technology. Dr. Sterle holds also industry-recognized certificates and various US patents. He was also involved in different H2020 projects, so 5G ACP, INT5 Gent, 5G Induce, Evolve 5G, 5G YANA, and cooperates closely with the respective industry, regulatory and legislative bodies on strategic and technical levels. Mr. Dejan Soster is a researcher in Telekom Slovenia, research and development, involved in the research and development department. He is involved in many national and European projects within Telecom Slovenia, with focus areas on 5G, especially in the field of PPDR, transport, logistic, utilities, and industry 4.0. He's also the coordinator of project activities of the 5G Logino project on behalf of Telecom Slovenia. So Mr. Sostas started his business career in energy sector, and he has more than 10 years experience in both the public and private sector, especially in the area of project management and development. So we start with Mr. Yanes. So Mr. Yanes, the floor is yours. And then we'll continue with Mr. Dejan.
There is a view, the role. Can you see my
Yes.
screen?
Very good. Thank you, Yanis.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity that I'm able to be here today. So my name is Jan Esterle, and I'm coming from Internet Institute, which is a young and technology intensive SME based in Slovenia. So we are specialized in development of 5G products and services for various emerging sectors such as sports, industry 4.0, critical communications, and other vertical industries targeting, let's say, reliable and resilient communications. Today, I'm here also as a representative and the leader of one of the 5G Logino Living Labs. In my case, the Koper Living Lab, which is located in Slovenia. So, Koper Living Lab is hosted actually by Port of Koper, which is one of the most dynamic ports in Europe and one of the front runners in the innovations. It's located in the Koper municipality, and it's the only Slovenian multi-purpose port connecting, let's say, Central Europe with access to Adriatic and, of course, the Mediterranean. The core businesses of the ports is in the transshipment and warehousing of goods and a range of complementary services. Transshipment and warehousing are carried out actually by 12 specialized port terminals and Luka Koper company, which is also one of the 5G Logino project partners, operates all the infrastructures and provides also the logistics and other port operational services. Therefore, we are really actually happy to have them on board. So one of the most important aspects of the Koper Living Lab in the regards of the future 5G development targets is that it also presents one of the European sea gates connecting this Mediterranean tent corridor with, let's say, European highway and railway transport routes that are crossing, of course, all the Mediterranean member states. As already indicated by Mr. Ezebio, in Koper Living Lab, we are targeting development, implementation, and field testing and verification of, let's say, novel 5G capabilities, such as non-standalone and standalone mode, and complementary services such as MANO-based network and services orchestrations, which will support VNF and CNF functional operation. As part of that, we will exploit also these agile development principles and system operations, such as cloud native and immutable concepts. And of course, we cannot go without network computing slicing, mobile edge computing, and cloud run capabilities, which are essential for that kind of environment. And finally, the target of this 5G short infrastructure is, of course, to deploy various use cases. And in these use cases, we will, of course, target industrialized networking services, artificial intelligence and machine learning-based video analytics, remote IoT-based telemetry, monitoring, drone surveillance, etc., etc. So I hope it's now obvious why we need, or why we have actually chosen 5G for the job. So 5G actually is the only global mobile standard which enable internetworking and roaming of services and applications with commercial mobile systems. And this is not only on the national level, but actually on the global scale. So in practice, what this means, let's say your 5G IoT device can start the journey in, I don't know, in automotive factory in Italy. And at the end, it can end up in Tokyo at your customer, of course. But you will be always, let's say, able to interconnect with it and to interact with it. So this is quite important. So 5G technology was designed from the beginning, actually, to be operated in industrial environments with mission critical resilience and redundancy capabilities. It supports flexible deployment option, and it can be also operated over public or private, let's say, infrastructure. So to implement such ambitious goal, and let's say in such a demanding port environment, we get on board several partners which are supporting, let's say, cutting edge innovations in 5G domain. So who are they? Continental. I'm sure that everybody heard about Continental. It's our industrial partner providing telematic IoT platform. Then we have a partner, Recomtech, a research center developing artificial intelligence and machine learning based video analytics. Telekom Slovenia, as it was already mentioned before, a leading mobile network operator, which will provide private 5G services over the public infrastructure. Luka Koper, a port operator with more than 35 years of experience in port operations. And finally, we, as an SME, Internet Institute, which will deliver a cutting-edge private 5G system operating in 5G standalone mode and 5G IoT platform, of course. So, and here you can see our ambitious, let's say, Living Lab deployment plan presented as a full stack. On the bottom layer, we have a 5G network and IaaS capabilities, which will be provided actually in two flavors. One will be built over public and private communication and cloud infrastructure. And another one, it will be built as a standalone in, of course, in the standalone mode as a private infrastructure. In the middle, our services infrastructure and application components that are complementing 5G ecosystem with industrial IoT gateways, 5G telematic devices, drone and ultra HD based cameras, video streaming. And at the end, of course, we have also artificial and machine learning based video analytics, which is really important as we will see it later in logistics and security process. And finally, on the top, we have three main use cases that will be actually developed, deployed, and also operated in this operational environment under the real conditions. This is really important. So these use cases are 5G login management and network orchestration platform. This is use case 1. Use case 5 is targeting logistic process automation for ports. And use case 6 is targeting mission critical communications in the ports. So we believe that Koper Living Lab architecture and its capabilities are generic enough to host various other use cases, target port operations, logistics, let's say private security services, which will hopefully be also exploited and showcased as part of 5G Lugino open call, or let's say in the future deployments of that or exploitation of the system. So if we move to the use cases, in use case 1, we will actually showcase the automation and automated deployment and lifecycle management, which will be actually OSM based of network and services, such as VNF and CNF components that will be specifically tailored for the port operation. As part of that, we will also demonstrate the deployment of private 5G system in 5G standalone mode. So this means private core network, private cloud running capabilities operating in 3.5 gigahertz spectrum, which is one of the pioneering 5G bands in Europe. And what else we will be showcased is this 5G IoT system platform, which is industrial IoT, a platform with cloud native capabilities, management, collector functions, etc., etc. In use case 5, which is another use case, we are targeting automation for the ports. So we will automate port control, logistic, and remote automation process. So our target is to equip STS cranes with ultra HD cameras for transferring images over the 5G network to the edge IaaS, which will be deployed in Luka Koper. And on top of that, there will be artificial machine learning algorithm, which will do identification of container markers, detection of structural damages, etc., etc. So actually, we will support this logistic process. The second one is, the second target is port infrastructure monitoring, remote metering, which will be done with IoT devices for telematics. So actually operating machines will be monitored by means of capturing and transferring of key telemetry information such as position, usage, and other telematics metrics from operating terminal vehicles, of course, to port operation support systems. And at the end, the last target, as you will see it also in the use case 6, we are targeting to deploy, let's say, and of course to support the process of this use case with resilient 5G network services, which will actually present an alternative to the already operational VLAN network in the port of Koper. And the last use case, the target is to provide real-time video surveillance use cases in various flavor, from drone-based video surveillance, body-worn cameras, portable video surveillance cameras, which will, of course, transfer these images and videos over the 5G network to security operations center, and there additional analytics will be applied, of course, for different processes. And of course, as in the case of use case 5, another 5G capabilities will be shown, so network reliability and resilience using public and also private 5G infrastructure deployed. And this is my last slide. So we strongly believe that 5G technologies and complementary services are one of the key enablers of the future European ports. As stated also by the European Commission, ports must be the key engines of these TENs and infrastructure, and also as such, they need to invest today, of course, in 5G to stay competitive in the future. So what will 5G give them is all the needed tool sets that to be green, sustainable, resilient, and for sure also efficient. Also, we strongly believe that another important role of the port will be also as a driver for connecting European vertical industries. This means manufacturing, automotive, transport, and logistics services in creation of these new added value chains. So this is it from my side. I would like to thank you for the opportunity that I was able to share with you these key insights from the Koper Living Lab. If you will have more questions, please contact us via email, and we will be happy to discuss in more details our future plans and visions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yanis. So I think it's very important to highlight that we have learned from your presentation about the 5G ecosystem, enable innovation for future European ports and hub logistics. And of course, 5G for future European ports as a key engine of trans-European networks. So thank you very much. We'll continue now with Mr. Dejan Zoster.
Thank you, Dejan.
Thank you, Eusebio.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dejan. If you go with the note, we see them instead of the presentation.
Okay. Just a second.
Thank you. You should go just full screen as you did before.
Just a second. So if the note is seen.
Now we see the presentation, yes, but we don't see the notes, but the presentation is not in a full screen mode. We see it anyway, but it's not full screen.
Okay, just a second. I wasn't prepared for that because I prepared some notes also. Just to see.
Okay, just try again with the mode with the notes like you were before, and from that we can change the.
Just a second. So you see my.
Okay.
What do you see now?
Now we see the presentation and the notes, but you should go up with your mouse where you see the menu.
Okay.
All right. Just a second. Now I guide you through it. Okay, you go in your setting.
Okay.
We'll fix it just in a second. Are you in your settings?
Is this okay?
Okay.
Now you don't see notes, right?
No, we see it now. I don't see if you're on your settings because you should go there. Otherwise, if you put full screen, we see the presentation, but you won't see the notes. So if you need notes,
just a second. I would like to see notes if I may.
Yes.
Oh, sorry for that.
No problem.
Just give me a second, please.
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit.
Otherwise, you can keep the presentation like this. We can see it anyway. It's not full screen, but it's big. We can see it good. So if it's more comfortable for you, we can keep this way.
Just give me a second, please.
Yeah.
I will connect my second monitor.
Yep.
Hello, sorry.
Yes.
So maybe you should try to go with as before with the notes, and then at the top there should be like settings or double view. Okay, now I can see good.
Yeah, it's good, but I don't see in my notes. You know, it's a presenter view here.
Okay, then now at the top you should have like a double.
Okay, what?
I can't see your at the top there should be like a double screen or something like that.
Yes.
Or setting, maybe setting. There should be and on the top on the left side.
Mute.
Try with use slideshow.
Switch. I don't know.
The button use slideshow.
Use slideshow. Yes, at the top.
You see it at the top on the left. On the left.
Slideshow.
You have end show, tips, and use slideshow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Yeah, but that's.
You see it or no? Or you lost your.
Yeah, I see it, but I not see in my.
Still not notes. So I think that
can I send this presentation to my email and I will take.
I can share the presentation for you. Is that okay?
Valeria, I send it the presentation to you.
Okay.
Can you share it, please?
Of course, we can share the presentation
it's the last
for you.
In last email before the meeting. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just give us a second. We share for you the presentations, and you just say next when you want to go into the next slide. Okay.
Okay.
Just give us a second. Thanks. Okay, here we are. We have the PDF.
Okay, just a second.
Now we are going into full screen in a second. In the meanwhile, just tell me if you're ready to start.
Okay, just a second. Okay, I'm ready. So apologize for that misunderstanding. So good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's a privilege to be here today and to be part of this event and also the part of the project 5G Logino. My name is Dejan Šošter. As Eusebio introduced us, I'm coming from Telekom Slovenia. So we are the largest mobile operator here in Slovenia. Now let's go to my presentation. Janez already talked about Living Lab in Koper and use cases that we will work on. So in my part of presentation, I will try to talk all this from telecom point of view. So the next, please, slide. Why smart connected ports? Digitalization is a major trend in the whole industry, also in ports, and they are coping with changes in the global economy, growing demand and increasing throughput of cargo. And COVID-19 also added some challenging as well. So ports needs to be more efficient. They need to increase competitiveness, better use of resources, etc., etc. So smart ports are equipped with sensors, cameras, devices, and all that is fully connected to a network infrastructure. And together with innovative technologies and automation like artificial intelligence, IoT, big data, they can improve their performance. So connectivity also allows them to connect trains, vehicles, and people by merging different communication technologies and also then control them remotely. This has big impact on safety in ports, everyday operation. So high-level efficiencies and reduced costs could be achieved through an ecosystem of smart security, asset management, and network infrastructure capabilities. Next, please. We see the 5G technology as an enabler across multiple different areas. There are many possible use cases within ports for technology that can only function with 5G network in place. Perhaps most importantly, it makes it possible to scale up the many technology trials that has been conducted over recent years, from the proof of the concept level to the variable part port-wide solution. So the 5G has the potential to change the entire transformation ecosystem. It will drive innovative innovation and digitalization. It will improve safety in ports, and it will increase the speed, reliability, and security of port authority. 5G will improve efficiency and optimize logistics, supply chain, and also port operation. Janez already mentioned network slicing. This will help to overcome some limitation that exists with current technologies and provide substantial value in, for example, the fields of tracking and tracing containers, autonomous driving, and process automation. With networks of nationwide coverage and support of devices and sensors, operators have the potential to provide end-to-end solution. But we need to understand the specific needs to the logistic value chain to be successful to succeed. Last but not least, guaranteed quality of service could be a factor of trust to 5G network. Next, please. The 5G network in the area of Koper Living Lab is based on several prerequisites. The first one, of course, is that 5G services need to support logistic and internal security services operation in Port of Koper. Then 2 5G platforms will be deployed. First one is provided by Telekom Slovenia, and it's operators based 5G with reusing public infrastructure. And the second one is based on dedicated infrastructure, and it's completely private 5G system. This one is provided by Internet Institute. We currently have a 5G non-standalone network available, and we are considering deploying a 5G standalone network as soon as 5G core will be available. On the other side, the private network from ININ will be available as a standalone option. And also to ensure the implementation of certain use cases, an narrowband IoT network will be available in the entire area of Koper Living Lab. We are currently having a 5G and also deploying 5G alongside artificial intelligence and edge computing allows for the completion of more tasks automatically, improving the intelligence and operation efficiency reports. The support strict port security requirements, commercial operators, infrastructure will be extended with MAC capabilities that will ensure smart routing of the port-related network services and applications, and traffic directly to the operation support system in the Koper Living Lab. So basically, all the traffic generated within the use case of 5G Logino project will be terminated locally. Next, please. The 5G network requirements in our Living Lab. We are currently finishing an important part of the project in which we set the network requirements in all Living Labs related to 5G Logino. The requirements are tailored to the use case and somehow also cover the requirements specific to this industrial vertical. We have a lot of challenges in front of us, and 5G is expected to address the challenges thanks to its low latency, large bandwidth, capacity, high reliability as well, and it's supported for private network solution and end-to-end application performance guarantee. The infrastructure as a service requirements will be covered by placing dedicated physical servers at the data center at Koper Living Lab location that will serve as a private infrastructure as a service in terms of network function virtualization based terminology. Regarding the radio network is one of the design goals to provide both flavors of 5G connectivity, standalone and non-standalone. Edge computing provides ultra-low service latency and enables control and video traffic of cranes to be terminated at the network edge. With this technology, the data does not go out of the campus, which greatly reduces network latency and meets requirements for data security. I mentioned earlier that certain ports require data to remain within their network, so local breakout is required. Network slicing enables new opportunities across a wide range of use cases and sectors by making it possible to create fit-to-purpose virtual networks. And to overcome deployment and operational challenges of the current 5G technologies in port environment, the implementation of Living Lab infrastructure is planned as a controlled and independently operation subsystem. Also, 5G capabilities and services under TES represent an add-on to existing port infrastructure and complement the overall service portfolio. Next, please. This slide shows the overall architecture design of the 5G network in our Living Lab. Combined private mobile services assured by the national operator, Telekom Slovenia, and the private 5G infrastructure by ININ will enable various scenarios in 5G operational modes to be tested and demonstrated as a single 5G port facility. So including support of various verticals, industries like transport and logistic and mission critical port operation. To be able to carry out all the use cases with the Koper Living Lab, it's necessary to carefully plan and set up a 5G network, including preliminary measurements, and the requirements of the 5G network are determined according to the selected use cases. We will set up, as I said, two 5G networks, the private 5G in SI mode, and the commercial network in the 5G NSA mode. We are considering upgrading the commercial 5G network with standalone option, but only equipment will be available during the project. The first variant, non-standalone, will be deployed by Telecom on our production core network and dedicated 5G base stations. The standalone variant will be deployed as a completely private network using EAS infrastructure and placing base station on a strategically chosen location within the living lab. Two mobile networks will operate completely independently and will allow testing various use cases, scenarios in 5G topologies. The deployment of 5G mobile network in the port of Koper will rely on availability of commercial 5G products, especially those related to support of enhanced mobile broadband and massive machine type communication features, and our deployment plan already considered this. Next, please. To the use cases, as already mentioned, several use cases will be implemented and tested in Port of Koper. So deployment and validation of the 5G network and services need to support operation of 3 use cases shown on this slide. Hybrid private public 5G network operation will be supported with the demonstrated features such as 5G slicing, mono network function virtualization, and multi-infrastructure as a service scenarios. In use case 1, we'll primarily address 5G logic management and network orchestration platform and its cloud extension that will be used for demonstration and automated deployment and lifecycle management of a network and application operated in 5G port environment. With this, we are targeting on industrial IoT application. The open source MAN orchestrator integrated with Kubernetes and OpenStack mechanism will enable on-demand provisioning on private 5G mobile network and 5G IoT services. It will assure that expected network and application performance metrics and KPIs. In the use case 5, we are targeting Industry 4.0 scenarios with use cases related to port control, logistic, and remote automation. The deployed 5G network, cloud, and industrial IoT infrastructure from national operator and the private 5G mobile system capabilities from use case 1 will be used as the baseline communication system in this use case. So use case 1 will be the baseline communication system for all the other use cases. As part of the use case 6, several activities related to port security operation will be introduced. 5G network will be used to transfer video streams in real time into port security operation center. So in this case, deployed 5G technologies also from use case 1 will be used as a baseline communication. So reliability and the resilience of the multi-phased real-time video surveillance will be targeted for mission critical needs using both commercial and private 5G network. So this was my last slide. 5G is on its way. We undoubtedly present some exciting potential, but with any new technology, we can't really know the full extension of the possibilities and, on the other hand, problems until we will be able to explore it further. So that's why development projects like 5G Logino and are important for further development of more effective solution for port customers, leveraging technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, big data, etc., etc. So this is from my side all. Thank you very much for your attention. Apologies once again for the rough start, and wishing you a great event further. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dejan. So we have learned many things from your presentation. So why are needed smart and connected ports? Then why 5G represent the main enabler for smart ports? So thank you very much. So now we'll follow to see the challenges and the use cases from Athens Living Labs. And I kindly invite Dr. Pavlos Basarabas to present it. So he is a project manager and senior researcher, active in the areas of network, function visualization, multi-access edge computing, and software-defined network for 5G. He received a bachelor and master degree from a Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering for the University of Thessaly from Greece. He has also received a PhD degree in 2017 from the same department. He is also working as postdoctoral research fellow at Trinity College in Dublin, so the School of Computer Engineering and Statistics, in collaboration with Nokia Bell Laboratories from Ireland. His research interests focus on computer networking and wireless cellular systems. He's an experienced in transport layer protocols, broadcast, multicast communication with application video, TV services, and wireless network optimization. So Dr. Basaravas, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I can share my slides. I hope that everyone can see my screen correctly.
Yes, we can see your screen. Please go full screen, and if you can turn on your camera also.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thank you very much.
So I guess everything is in place. Thank you. So I am Pavlos Pasaras. I'm a project manager with the ICCS group. And today we're going to see our 5G Login use cases at Piraeus Port in our living lab in Athens. We will see a few details regarding the Piraeus Port, our living lab, some details about our organization, ICCS, and of course we're going to see some details about the 5G Login use cases that are going to be deployed at the port. So, okay, ICCS, this is us. It stands for the Institute of Communication and Computer Systems. We're located in Greece, in Athens. Our organization is established since 1989. We will participating in 5G Loginov through the iSense group of ICCS. The iSense group is the largest group within our organization. It includes several research units and research labs and quite a few people in several domains for research, academics, administrative personnel, and so forth. The sub-team that is contributing to 5G Loginov is the Smart Integrated Systems team. Our main application areas with ICCS include the logistics and maritime domain, smart infrastructure, environment, and AR/VR solutions. We are engaged with several such technological details and have active participation in high scientific publications, including participation in several UE projects. We're not going to see more details for this in today's presentation. We're just going to skip to our living lab, which is the Piraeus Port that we see here. So this is an overview of our living lab. We're located in Athens. The Piraeus Port is close to our capital, Athens. We have 3 operational piers. Piraeus Container Terminal is the organization that manages the port. Its main activities include the loading and unloading and storage of import and export container cargoes that use Piraeus Port as their station, and also include transshipment operations that use the Piraeus Port only as an intermediate station. Its location in the Mediterranean Sea makes it an ideal hub for destinations in the central and eastern Mediterranean, including also the Black Sea and also railway and road transportation that connects the port through several European destinations. This is just a closer view within our port. We see some the quayside cranes, the railway network that exports containers from the living lab, and also a graph at the bottom right, the rightmost figures, with some collaborations within the Mediterranean Sea. Generally, PCT's annual throughput in terms of container is ranked 4th among the remaining European ports as of 2019 and 2020. So 5G Loginov goals and expectations. in our Piraeus port, we will establish a 5G network to establish cellular communications between several sets of 5G IoT devices that are going to be tailored to the use case needs of the living labs, and of course establish communications with the fleet of 5G connected trucks that are currently within the port premises. We target the improvement of the operational efficiency of daily port operations, reduction in the costs of operations, and of course the environmental footprint that our port has in the nearby area, and last but not least, the improvement of employee safety within the port premises. Our partners is the Piraeus Container Terminal, which is of course our living lab, our mobile network operator, which is Vodafone, and ICCS, which is our research institute. So use cases. So with respect to the 5G testbed that we have at the ICCS, this is a subset of services that we can support. Part of them that will be migrated at PST premises at some stage of the project. This is where we test how our technologies, how our innovations affect the daily port operations at the port premises. In lab, we will build some 5G IoT devices tailored to video analytics services. The 5G stack that we use in lab is based on the open air interface platform that includes all 5G stack components, the base station, the radio access unit, the core, and so forth. We will also bring management and network orchestration services to the living lab, using a subset of technologies such as OpenStack and open source Mano for the virtual network functions and the establishment of video analytics tasks at the living lab premises. If we go a bit deeper for the IoT devices and the use cases, we will bring a 5G IoT device that is capable of video analytics services with NFV Mano support. The device is composed of several components, a compute node that will host the video analytics tasks based on the NFV support from our management and orchestration platform. It will have a 5G interface to establish cellular communication within the port premises, and of course 4K cameras that will be our sensing devices that will capture the video data for our sensing within the port premises. The analytic services will take place at the UE. This is why we describe this use case as a far-edge computing approach. This means that the analytics will be computed and will be executed locally on board the 5G IoT devices. We target two main scenarios, one which is relevant to human safety and risk. This means that our NFV Mano support will deploy VNFs with machine learning modules that will automatically detect human presence in areas, in high-risk areas. This includes areas, for example, with heavy machine operations, such as crane maneuvers and so forth. Additional cases with increased traffic within the port with combining external and yard trucks within the port premises, and as well as cases where we will be deploying these devices close railway routes. Of course, we will support NFV Mano from day 0 to day 2 operations. Initially, the service orchestration will go through VNFs and at a later stage through Kubernetes clusters and CNFs. Video analytics and, of course, monitoring and alert generation based on the inference of the machine learning modules. The second use case that will be deployed through the 5G IoT devices is a computer vision approach, a computer vision VNF that targets a logistic application, and it is focused in detecting the container seals at the loading and unloading phase of vessels at Piraeus. This is a very important case for the Piraeus port, since the verification of the container seal at the first, let's say, contact of the port with the container, which is at its unloading phase or loading phase from vessels, verifies that the integrity of the contents within the container. So the idea is similar, computer vision VNFs for automatic deployment of container seal services, and of course the life cycle management for both computer vision approaches in these two scenarios. All 5G IoT devices will also transmit high-resolution video streams from the cameras, utilizing the eMBB service of 5G technology to be transmitted at the backend system at PCT for further analytics and monitoring and several other operations. Our solutions are are open source. We use commercial off-the-shelf hardware. This is in order to facilitate interoperability across heterogeneous ports, and or in other words, to, let's say, provide our lessons learned from the 5G technology and 5G launch in our ports to other interested parties and other European ports. The next set of use cases that will be deployed in Athens Living Lab have the 5G connected yard trucks and external trucks in their focus. So the idea is that we would like to monitor in all the, let's say, the asset performance in its daily operations, which is the yard trucks and the external trucks. To facilitate this kind of experimentation, the yard trucks and the external trucks are going to be equipped with telematics devices connected to several data sources, including canvas, localization, other trucks, custom sensors, including, for example, sensors that detect whether the truck has the freight of the truck, whether it carries container or not. This use case will enable, let's say, the PCT management platform to orchestrate in real time the operations of the horizontal movement of containers between stacking areas and loading, unloading areas for vessels relayed within PCT, and minimize any potential delays that could affect several work chains at the Piraeus port. At the top right image, we see a snapshot of our port, where we see the vehicles currently moving, the freight and the average speed. So the idea is to gather all this information from the fleet of 5G connected trucks using the low latency transmissions of 5G technology and precise positioning in order to optimize port operations within the port premises. Of course, using predictive maintenance approach and data from several telematic sensors on board the 5G trucks, canvas and other custom sensors, predictive maintenance is also a very important case that we would like to address, since it will significantly reduce the cost of operation for our port. We would like to, including also cases where we can optimize purchases based on the asset tracking in the real-time operations, and also including, for example, cases where we are proactively attending to potential problems of 5G connected trucks rather than going with solving the problems when they occur, which will cause further delays in the operations of the port. And of course, last but not least, our use cases involve cooperation with external trucks in order to optimize the way that the unloading or the loading process of the external trucks take place at the Piraeus terminal, estimation of arrival time and departure time in order to facilitate all work chains in the logistic domains in the most efficient way as possible. This is, I think, my last slide. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be in this session, and please send me any questions that you have related to our Living Lab.
Thank you very much, Pavlos. So we have learned also from your presentation about how to improve the efficiency of port operation, how to reduce the cost of operation, how it's possible to reduce the environment footprint, and last but not least, how to improve the employees' safety. So now, after seeing the Luca Koper Living Lab and Athens Piraeus Living Labs, it's time to see the Hamburg use case approach. So, and Mr. Ralf Willebroek will present it. He holds a diploma in physics and works as product and program manager for intelligent transportation system within the Deutsche Telekom subsidiary system. He was in charge of several international projects in Europe and China related to telematics, logistics, especially during large-scale events such as Olympic Games 2004 and 2008, Shanghai Expo 2010, and others. So in the Ertico Lead Horizon Project 5G Loginov, Mr. Willebroek is responsible for implementing 5G-enabled cellular Vitrix technology and precise position. Beside of his product responsibility for ITS project, Mr. Willebroek is also a member of Ertico ITS Europe Supervisory Board, holds 25 patents and published numerous scientific papers in the context of traffic and environment. So, Mr. Willebroek, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eusebio, for this kind introduction. I will try to share my screen. And hopefully you can see everything.
Very good, thank you, Ralph.
Okay, fantastic. All these tools causing always a lot of troubles. Okay, so yeah, let me start from a short story which is linked to the city of Hamburg. You should remember that Germany has only, other than the Mediterranean countries, two important seaports, which are Hamburg and Bremen, both important for German export industry. So these two seaports in the past 5-6 years in different aspects were always my customers. And what probably my colleagues from Athens and Koper can confirm, for many telecom operators, seaports and airports are very important customers because they not only use the telecom infrastructure from network side and cable and antenna, whatever technology, but also for the services. So when it comes now to 5G logistics, I see that there's a clear convergence of traditional mobile network business and new services, as already mentioned by Eusebio, and I'm really happy in being involved in all of these exciting new innovation projects. So the facts and figures already mentioned before, I don't want to repeat it, I just want to give your attention to our role. We have the project lead with the partner Continental, the traffic management supplier and expert company Swarco, and an engineering company very active in the automotive supply chain. So it gives a quite good impression that in the Living Lab Hamburg, we are fully complementary with services and network aspects. Within 5G Loginov, we decided to go into a hot topic for Hamburg because Hamburg, as a port 70 kilometers away from the Northern Sea, has a huge disadvantage with the 70-kilometer Elbe, which has to be overcome by the up to 24,000 container ships. So what Hamburg really must take care of is that the connection to the hinterland is as good as possible. And you should know that one of the reasons why Hamburg still is very successful compared to other ports, it is ranked number 3 in Europe, is that there's an excellent rail network which was constructed in the early history of German industrial development. And with this, it is said in Germany that almost all things we have in hand in supermarket or shops have passed the port of Hamburg. And this, of course, brings also a lot of negative aspects transport is responsible for. And the hinterland connection is a bottleneck as the port itself is highly automated in many aspects already. So we focused on a better connection from traffic management side and the hinterland. This also is a challenge for the operating costs in seaports because if the trucks connected to the port are the bottleneck, then automatically you have personnel for the container terminals which wait for trucks, and the trucks wait for the container terminals. So the information exchange was found is one of the most important elements to reduce delay times in peak hours. And estimated time of arrival, already mentioned, is key, but also predictive maintenance of such a sensitive infrastructure as ports. And here, Luca Koper and Athens have a good focus and good examples, is very important, but also concerns the traffic management infrastructure outside the port. And the green port strategy, similar to the zero emission strategy for airports, is a policy requirement which very much goes along with the current situation in our ports. So if we bring this to the use cases in 5G Loginov, we have, first of all, very similar and in good line what was mentioned by Pavlos, a focus on emission data. Basically, we want to equip with 3 types of telematic units the vehicle, find out how the vehicle reacts in different situations on the hinterland to port terminal movement, how actually traffic management congestion impacts the entire operation of the trucks. And then we want to use a technology which is well known from passenger cars, green light optimum speed advice, GLOSA, and bring it together with an active analysis of automated truck platooning, where the first step still is to have a driver on board, but the study will concern also the automated next step of this. And all of it should go into the traffic management center, which technically is owned by SWACO, our partner mentioned before. In this picture, you see that the river Elbe is really dividing the city in 2 different, or the port of Hamburg and Hamburg, into 2 sections. And both sections are full of warehouses and storages, depots for logistics to the container terminals, which are listed in red. And in the north, you have cruise terminals also, which are also causing a lot of logistic challenges. They are directly located inside the city. And in the south, you have large depots and container terminals and container traffic from truck side. And we started in our design for the pilot to handle with platoons both of these areas. In the city center, the test field for autonomous driving, where SWACO has traffic lights, and we have already installed technology for the GLOSA app, and for the app design you see above. We tested with equipment and with a smartphone to the right how this could be used in the platoon truck case. We also have in the south of Hamburg a typical container truck segment of the road network. And here the roadside units, both they can receive a signal from the truck to get longer green time. And it is known that the potential for fuel savings, always linked to CO2 times 2.6 kilogram per liter, has the potential of large savings due to less stops, acceleration events. So these are the test areas and use cases in Loginov combined with dynamic traffic management studies. That's basically a summary. Again, you see to the right what the truck driver will see, and the platoons will be operated as mentioned in both sections of the road network. The role of the partners, SWACO as traffic light and traffic system provider, in the heart of the traffic police in Hamburg. I started after my studies in Berlin to work in a traffic management center, learning how these operational things are handled by the police. So in this case, we have the city of Hamburg also in the different divisions of the government as a partner in the test field, and the Hamburg Port Authority in the south, what I've shown to you. Continental is in this project giving us an IoT device and helping us to operate everything in a smooth way inside the vehicle, so that the GLOSA comes together with the truck technology, and Tech4U is for fleet and engineering, and also as an SME involved in the startup activities. Telecom is basically operating the mobile network and helps us whenever we need details about this network. We are not using a private network. Everything is based on the publicly already available network in Hamburg on 5G technology. So this is to give you an example how all fits together with 5G in a technical way. We have the mobile edge infrastructure we are using, and other services here in the test field are described to the right. The test field has in total 30 critical intersections equipped with devices 802.11p and now with 5G sense the signal phase and time information of the traffic light, so that the driver knows the optimum speed and can take care of it in order to avoid acceleration or braking events causing higher emissions, causing higher fuel consumptions. And what is most important in both aspects is collision warning to the drivers of the platoon. And this collision warning is latency critical, meaning that we go into latency areas where only 5G can handle and solve the problem of fast and reliable communication in the context of our trials. This gives a second view of the technology we are planning to use. The base is of course for a telecom mobile operator, the sophisticated high-tech options we have. I think we have now up to 18, 19 sensors in a smartphone, so it's an excellent measurement tool also. We use it this way also. We have precise positioning, which was also already mentioned, and will improve the GPS positioning to increase also the quality of the service. And we use a CO2 monitoring tool which is based on the international ISO standard 23795, which is in 3-4 months publicly available. It's now already published in draft. So we implemented the software according to this, because we think that this will help also to create a CO2 monitoring market in a wider scale. One of the biggest challenges with regards to new innovation needed goes with what is happening with the platoon in real traffic situation. What you see here is the business vision in the long run, where we believe also with other partners that the given priority signal to traffic lights, which is nowadays very complicated and includes a lot of technical challenges, especially when you think you want to roll it out in a larger scale, that here 5G has the potential to come into the game for easy to roll out solutions for platoons. We will test how does the platoon behave with regards to the traffic light, how does it behave with regards to the distance between the different trucks, and how is the best operation mode for a platoon when it comes to logistics corridor optimization. And at the moment, with regards to international research, only projects in Japan by SoftBank are going the same direction, but I'm pretty sure that for the near future, this is a new industry, an upcoming industry, because it goes into the direction of cooperative adaptive cruise control. And if you think about cruise control in general, which is very well now state of the art in trucks, then the connection to the outside world with the traffic management systems has definitely huge potential, especially in the combination with 5G rollout. So the key elements we are handling with 5G here is ultra reliable low latency and time critical truck platooning, 25 milliseconds, real-time invisibility, and 5G enabled precise positioning. That's the 5G aspect. We are the last slide now, and being involved in environmental projects linked to traffic management many years is you see here that what was put in place by Hamburg Port Authority, but not measured yet with regards to the CO2 balance and the impact to vehicles and especially to a platoon is listed here. The kilometer above shows where there was for the different vehicles of the platoon, the different behavior and emissions gram per kilometer. And what you should have in mind is a manual platoon always has the last vehicles in ramping up with the speed to follow the soft platoon. And this was confirmed here. The blue line shows the lead vehicle of the platoon, which has smooth driving behavior, and then is followed by the manual drivers with their problems to follow. And with this, thanks again for having me here with you. I wish all of you a nice remaining day and interesting discussions. And I'm pretty optimistic that we are on a good track with this project and the 5G deployment in Europe.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Just only one sentence. We have learned a lot how, for instance, will be deployed the 5G enabled connected and automated logistic in Hamburg. So now, after seeing all the living labs and the use cases that will be deployed, it's time to move to a business side. So, and Dr. Maria Angela Rossano will present the emerging 5G business opportunities and models. So how 5G can enable new market players in the logistic domain. So Dr. Rossano is a postdoctoral researcher in the Department of Control and Computer Engineering of Politecnica di Torino. She's a member of the Inter-University Consortium for Optimization and Operational Research, ICOR, and of the ICT for City Logistics and Enterprises Research Center. Her main areas of expertise are business development and lean business, city logistics and smart city, green logistics, and impact assessment of externalities reduction policy in supply chain, freight distribution, and supply chain management. So Dr. Rossano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, Eusebio, and thank you all for attending this presentation. Today, I'm going to present the approach adopted within the 5G Login of the European project to boost new 5G opportunities and models. Among all the different phases of the project, a set of activities have been conducted to analyze the current and future market scenario linked to the 5G core technology innovation that are addressed in the living labs, in order to deliver products and services and solutions at the TRL 7 or beyond, and exploit the potential of the 5G to improve logistic operations. In this direction, the 5G Loginov approach is composed of different phases that go from an assessment of current market scenario to the collaborative design of business models. These activities are conducted with continuous engagement of stakeholders and new actors, considering their feedback and their requirement along the entire duration of the project. Of course, this will help to design a collaborative business model properly and overcome the potential barriers in the market, design a viable solution that will be accepted in the market. Let's start with the assessment of the current market scenario, which is the first phase of our path. This phase had the aim of analyzing, investigating the current market scenario to define the potential business opportunities of 5G core technology innovation. In doing so, we analyzed the state of the art in terms of current application or ongoing project, using through qualitative and quantitative analysis based on the adoption of a taxonomy that you can see in the slide. This taxonomy allows to gather information related to different aspects of the project. So from the description, the goals, the technology that are addressing in a particular project, to the design of the business model and the infrastructure financing and all of the funding scheme. Given to the time constraint, I will discuss the key results that are reflected in the next phase of the stakeholder assessment. In particular, first of all, 5G technology, artificial intelligence, and Internet of Things are emerged as the most used technologies to achieve objective of the full digitalization of ports, automation, and of course the improve of efficiency and safety in port and terminals. However, two main gaps have been identified. First, port terminals logistics need to be better aligned with the urban freight transportation and city logistic perspective. And second, few projects have a running solution or specified product which are operational at the end of the pilot phase. So greater attention, of course, to the design of the business model and its scalability are needed. For this reason, we started to engage the stakeholders in the development phase. In doing so, we carried out a survey to a sample of companies, telco companies or logistic operators involved in the Living Labs, to assess their level of knowledge and interest in adopting innovative technologies under the Logistic 4.0 and the Industry 4.0 framework to improve the efficiency of logistic processes. Results show basically a generally high level knowledge of the Industry 4.0 and the Logistic 4.0 enabling technologies, and in a large part of the companies, this technology are already implemented or they are planned to be implemented in the short run. The main expected benefit for this company are to improve the efficiency, optimize operation while reducing time and cost. However, it emerged a low willingness of the company to share data with external organizations. And even if all the company are aware about the cybersecurity and the importance of data security, and they are already organized to implement measures to ensure it. So for this reason, the proposition of new 5G enabled products and service must focus on the definition of a collaborative environment in order to increase the trust, as Eusebio said at the beginning, and the data sharing among all the different actors. To create this collaborative environment and foster the entrance of new actors, the results of the previous phases helped the organization of an open call for the selection of 5 innovative startups and small medium enterprises. And these initiatives have the aim of selecting and collecting innovative proposals about the application of ICT technology and 5G technology and relating innovative technology, which are implemented in the Living Labs, to try to overcome and reduce the gap between current and future market opportunities. Moreover, of course, the new entrants should collaborate to address the need for data sharing. The open call has been launched yesterday and it is open until June. So for more information about the tender condition, application forms and key dates are available at the project website. Last but not least, existing and new actors will be constantly involved through the development of collaborative and sustainable business models. However, to enable the different actors with different expertise and background to communicate their feedback and their vision and collaborate to the design of business model, on Port, we are adopting, this is an ongoing phase, a lean business methodology named GUEST, that by means of practical tools like the business model canvas by Osterwalder or the solution canvas, make easier this type of communication. In this slide, you can see the process of the GUEST, but I would like to focus the attention on the participatory process adopted both in the business model design and in solution design that will integrate the feedbacks and stakeholder requirements emerging in the previous study. And of course, the requirement of new actors and a representative set of stakeholders in order to set up effective strategy for the market acceptance and of course guidelines for the new entrants. This will be possible, as I said, through the organization of hackathons and collaborative information days with Alice. And if you are interested to be updated or to participate to this moment, don't hesitate to contact us. Just to conclude, I would like to focus that 5G lodging of Living Labs are in this process a great opportunity to develop new products and services and create this collaborative environment and to assess business model in a limited scale, assess their performance and of course boosting their scalability and replicability on the large scales. Thank you for attention. and enjoy the rest of the events.
Thank you very much, Marie-Angela. So we have learned many things from your presentation. So first of all, that 5G Loginov plan for boosting marketplace and emergence of new actors, opportunity to new and established actors to create new businesses, and last but not least, facilitate the introduction of 5G core innovation technology in logistics domain. So what we have learned today from 5G Loginov. So first of all, that 5G Loginov will create a strategic impact to support the emergence of the new market with the new and existing actors targeting 5G, enable improved ports and freight operation and port and logistic hubs, maintenance activities at logistics. So these operations are expected to offer new opportunities for cost reduction and for positive impact on environment and also on ecosystem. In the same time, 5G Loginov will contribute to build a first-class European industrial supply side for 5G core technology with global market footprints in the logistic sector. You already have highlighted in your presentation that small medium enterprises and startups will be also possible to participate in the 5G Loginov activities and events. 5G Loginov will create also ensure a network of startups to be supported for addressing the development of economic opportunities of 5G enabled next generation logistic hubs and port operation. So what we can say more, so Industry 4.0 and transport and logistics of the future will transport our way of living. It will open up new areas for business development and pave the way for new and better services and new disruptive technologies. This is not possible alone, so we should invite more and more to join us, strong industrial partners with an industrial based and supported by an ambitious research innovation program and a legal framework to put forward in this strategy, and at the same time to support the Euro policy in order to compete globally. We have also learned today which are the main challenges, and it's difficult to describe such a challenge. So we have learned from the past that any challenge is part of the dream of yesterday, represent the hope of today, and the reality of tomorrow. So I can close, and I wish you please stay healthy, stay strong, and I wish you all a fruitful week ahead, and thank you.